And we're back for round 5, the penultimate round of this lovely Swiss Open here, the
Good
ETS
word.
Open Season 7. Yeah, I know, it is a wonderful word, isn't it? And joining me in the booth to help cover this star-studded match is a star himself. Do I even need to say it? Chibikawaii, hey Mark, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, and I appreciate the roller coaster that you put me on emotionally. It's just the tear downs and then the bring ups. I don't know where I'm going, and I'm probably going to end up in a ball crying on the floor. But I appreciate all of the ups and downs. We have VSarius versus Unearthly, and that was the star-studded matchup that Rhino was referring to. Guess what? Both these players, good players, playing arguably the best deck right now. We've got an Argenport mid-range mirror match. Some slight differences in the list, so there's a little bit of back and forth. Rhino, who do you think's got the upper hand here?
Yeah, so the big differences here to highlight, as you said, it's virtually a mirror, but there's some subtle differences, right?
Yeah.
Both players are going to be playing their Lethrite Falchions and Tavrods and Bloodletters and Barts and Valkyrie Enforcers. I think the units are largely the same, but Unearthly is opting for those 4 Tinker Overseers as his early game plan. Like I said, that's a lot of what you tweak with in these Argenport decks is what am I doing early? So Unearthly is going for those 4 Tinker Overseers, 2 Protects, whereas VSarius is on 4 Sabotage.
Yeah.
Right? And it's packing some Annihilates, whereas Unearthly doesn't have those in the main deck. So the top end's virtually the same. It's what's going on with those cheap early cards and how those play out, right? There's a number of differences here and there. Unearthly on 3 Falchions instead of 4 Slay instead of 3, 2 Varus Savers instead of 4, 2 Monuments to VSarius is 4. There's a number of differences, but ultimately it's the early has a couple extra early threats, whereas VSarius has that disruptive sabotage package. Which do you like in the mirror?
Oh man, it's a tough, right? Unearthly has the potential of getting up and under a little bit faster than VSarius, but VSarius has those sabotages to really get some key pieces stripped out of Unearthly's hand. So yeah, I think it's coin toss, in all honesty.
Well, this match is going underway, and we see that sabotage come out turn 1 from VSarius, and he'll be looking at a Vanquish, a Bloodletter, and opts to take the weapon out as Unearthly deploys a Tinker Overseer here. Unearthly and VSarius both short on power right now, heavy on action. Although if VSarius finds any power, these slays will get unlocked, whereas Unearthly is stuck on double justice right now and doesn't find any more, and VSarius does. And that might just be the story of this game.
Yeah, because if VSarius finds a Shadow Source off the top, I guess, Unearthly has to whiff on some power too, because Unearthly does have the hammer in order to be able to answer the Bart in the next couple turns, but it has to be in the next couple turns.
Yep. So Unearthly finds power and crucially is a Shadow Source. So that will go a long way. VSarius whiffs on power, but that's okay. He's got Slays to cast in the meantime. Gets in for 5+1 here.
Yeah, so we're going to see Unearthly dropping down to 16. The other good news is with that pop of the Aegis on the Bart with that Valkyrie Enforcer. Ooh. All right, well, now we got a 3/3 flyer and probably a dead Bart. Or actually, I guess you killed the Argenport Instigator here, right?
It's an interesting question, but yeah, he goes with the Instigator. You can't block Bart, though, so this 3/3 flyer is coming in. But again, if you block Instigator, the ping finishes off Hammer. So either way, your Hammer's dying. It was just a question of what you want to kill. Now, this Aegis is popped on Bart, and if you recall, VSarius used Sabotage on turn 1 and saw Vanquish. So he's going to be real hesitant to play this Falchion and instead finds the power to play Tavrod.
I was about to say, I disagree. I think you jam the Falchion, no problem, because you have your Tavrod. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Tavrod is way more valuable than a Bart with a weapon on it at this point, because you're setting up to kind of grind. You're not going to finish him off with this Bart here, although especially because his Aegis was already popped. And here we go. Tavrod comes down, the bully himself, and we'll see what kind of follow-up Unearthly has. It looks like just a hand of Impending Dooms, which are in Tavrod, which is a good place to be as he finds a Seek power and unlocks them. But VSarius has a good follow-up as his own coming up here.
Now, do you suit up in Jam or do you slay in Jam?
Well, depends on if I draw on depleted power. Looks like I don't.
I guess, yeah, do both. Obviously, the optimal answer, but
I think, let's see here. Your opponent hasn't played a weapon yet, so the holding Slay seems pretty valuable here. But yeah, taking out the flyer means they don't have a good double block, where if you Falchion, they can double block with a 5/5 and a 3/3. So it makes a little bit more sense to get to attack with Tavrod here and not lose him.
And a complete whiff off of the Tavrod trigger.
That happens actually quite a bit now with where Argenport midrange has ended up. Like, they cut basically Tavrod's the only unit you can get off Tavrod now in these lists, so he only gets weapons.
VSarius still had a fair number of hits, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick question: jumping back to that slay, is there an argument to slay the Overseer?
No, because you're just gonna lose. Yes, they start getting pinged, but they're also hitting you for more, and you don't have any life gain. But there we go. The Falchion gets found for Bart, and Unearthly simply doesn't have an answer. His hand is just units. And that means VSarius takes game 1.
Yeah, that was little faster than I was expecting, but I guess that kind of happens when you get Bart and Falchion. just gonna go.
Yeah, Bart off the top, basically stealing that game.
Brum.
So, that is kind of the point of these mid-range decks, though, is that they have powerful top decks. Good weapons to put on Bartolo the Seducer. And if not, you've got Impending Doom, Valkyrie Enforcers, and other things like that to get the job done. So here we go, sideboard time. Yeah. There's a lot of options. We were talking about how Unearthly had those Overseers in the main deck. VSarius has them in the sideboard. And how VSarius has Sabotage in the main deck, Unearthly has those in the sideboard, so they can basically show up on the same list depending on how they want to adjust here. What do you like coming in and out?
Well, I guess I'm creeping on what Unearthly's doing. It looks like Unearthly brings in the Protects, 3 of the Sabotages, cuts most of the Tinker Overseers.
Right,
running 1 Tinker Overseer, so that's pretty interesting. Am I missing anything else of these?
Yeah, post board, the way to approach this matchup is basically try and assemble the biggest unit with either a Falchion or a Bloodletter and do everything you can to protect that while disrupting your opponent's ability to protect theirs, right? It's all about who has the last whatever with a Falchion on it.
So Unearthly cut his Falchions.
Okay. So just going Bloodletters instead and trying to up... when you're against an opponent with a bunch of efficient removal, I can see where you're coming with from that, where it's just, all right, it's hard to ever get a unit to stick and put a Falchion on it. It does make Tavrod even worse, though. He's really just a 5/7 endurance.
Yeah.
Occasionally draws you a card, but again, if you're swinging with Tavrod, you're already in okay shape. So it'll be... I'm sure Unearthly has tested this matchup quite a bit, and he just likes this plan, and I'm interested to see if VSarius ends up on a similar plan to that, or keeps the Falchions in.
Yeah, and I kind of like deprioritizing the Tavrod. I mean, you're kind of...
It also makes Bart worse, but again...
Yeah, it's like chopping half your foot off.
Right? You're against an opponent that's playing presumably still 4 Auric Runehammers. A Bart with a Falchion still dies to Runehammer, so it's you're not really making him that much worse, but we'll see as VSarius mulligans into not a super pretty hand unless it draws a Shadow Source off the top, and then it's totally fine. In the meantime, Unearthly's got some depleted seats and monuments, but also a Diplo Seal to help smooth things out, and has that early Sabotage, but figuring out when exactly to deploy that with the rest of this hand.
It's definitely I don't think you need to do it on turn 1. I think you can wait till turn 2 in order to fire it off.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to open on the seat. There was an option to open on Monument just because you had a 4-drop in hand as well, but he's wary of potentially flooding and wants to keep the chance of using Monument here.
Yeah.
As we see Sabotage come out with the Diplo Seal out of hand. So I'm going to assume Unearthly drew power. No, he drew a Runehammer. So he's just going to skip turn 3.
Interesting.
instead making sure he can guarantee he has double shadow, double justice.
Well, VSarius is going to have to find something here soon.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's something. Shadow Sigil is the draw. So will VSarius deploy a unit here or use removal?
Yeah, I was about to say, I kind of like Valkyrie Enforcer.
Yeah, I like getting down a unit here as well. Unearthly stuck on 3 for now. We'll see if he finds a 4th, but if he doesn't, he has both Bloodletter and Valkyrie Enforcer that can be deployed here. And we see him tell the other Enforcer to halt.
Oh, interesting. So VSarius brought in the Overseers out of their board. Okay.
Yeah, got to get low, right?
Did they just like completely swap?
Yeah, I mean, maybe VSarius brought in exactly one Overseer and was going with Unearthly's plan of just one. Who knows? But we see the Vera's Favor come out, which means now he doesn't have a clean answer to Auric Runehammer, but does let him develop his power play 2 spells that turn using Annihilate instead of playing an Instigator and Overseer. How do you feel about playing Annihilate instead of an Instigator and Overseer there?
I guess if you're
like now you're super weak. If Unearthly just played a power and went Auric Runehammer, you don't have a second unit in play. You're just under arrest. But that is not what Unearthly drew. He drew a Tavrod and instead just makes a 5/5, and which will get slain. The thing is here, though, by Unearthly doing that, he's keeping Auric Runehammer as a very live play, right? Because now VSarius was forced to use removal there instead of being able to develop another unit, and especially because he drew Depleted Monument, and here we go. Hammer's out.
Yeah, okay, I was wondering here if you played one of your 2-drops and you played Bart, or if you just played both your 2-drops down.
Yeah, he opts to play both the 2s down, trying to preserve Bart.
Which I like, given that the Gem Blade was drawn.
Yeah.
If the Gem Blade wasn't drawn, I guess we don't know what VSarius actually cut, if they still have all the equipment or not.
The draw for Unearthly there is Protect. So he can go Impending Doom, or he can go Valkyrie Enforcer, hold up Protect, although Valkyrie Enforcer is not really worth protecting. But you also, it feels weird to trot out an Impending Doom when you have a Protect in hand kind of thing, when that card's so strong. So this is an interesting spot for Unearthly. And also
you could just hammer again, right?
No, you already swung with Hammer this turn.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
That would be a bad play.
Yeah, it's fine.
Look, it's important to point out the worst play possible and say why it is the worst play possible.
That's what I'm here for. That is what I'm here for.
Here comes the Impending Doom. So opting to hold on to the Enforcer and the Protect, those are, again, he was unlikely to use Protect. It was more just, you want to wait to play Impending Doom until you have Protect up.
Yeah.
And ultimately, instead you're going to try and get some okay. Bart comes out here, no Slay, no Valkyrie Enforcer. VSarius trying to get another good unit to try and set up this Gem Blade, but instead will be met with a Hammer.
Yeah,
and undepleted power means Protect can be held up here, and that means this Impending Doom is in the way of this 2/2 flyer.
So,
but there's a Valkyrie Enforcer and Slay. Yeah. VSarius drawing undepleted power there was huge, because now you can play both of these 3-cost things, and we'll probably see the Protect here.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be great for VSarius. As you mentioned, opening with the Silence means now you actually get to kill the unit.
Yeah, look. Sometimes quality comes out of this mouth. And we get to see the Tigger Overseer swinging in, clearing out that Runehammer.
Yeah.
Unearthly, though, now has this Tavrod. We know not necessarily the scariest Tavrod ever, just because of the lack of weapons and Minotaurs that are in Unearthly's deck now.
But he's still
a very good card.
Yeah, very good card, and notably Unearthly drew a Slay that turn, so he's going to be able to take down the big flyer here, that 5/5 with the weapon on it, and finds at least something else off Tavrod. Maybe another Tavrod, maybe a weapon. We'll find out. And Auric Runehammer, the draw for turn, not a bad thing either. But it means he's a little tight on power, but super good on gas as VSarius draws the sleigh here for the Tavrod, but he found another Tavrod with that.
This one's a 10-7. Yeah.
I expect the hammer to come out here, though, and put VSarius on an empty board, and that's what we see. Answer that Enforcer before it gets a weapon, and VSarius is in a rough spot here.
Yeah, we needed to see
no play.
Yeah,
does not want this Enforcer to die to hammer. Hopefully, trying to find something like a Bloodletter could do it, but of course, Unearthly's got another sleigh in hand, and this is just not looking good. Yeah, sleigh is just lethal. So,
yeah. All right, so we get a game 3 now, right?
Yep, we get a game 3. The Auric man comes in. Why did I just say that?
The Auric
game 3. Auric.
Where's he coming?
I'm gonna take breathe. 3, 2. 1. Okay, I'm back. Hey, how's it going?
It's coming into town, bringing weapons and other minotaurs. It's kind of like a party. Would you say?
Are we doing more Santa comparisons now?
We are now.
Would you rather have gifts from Tavrod or?
Oh, Tavrod! Are you kidding me? You know, why? Zendel's just gonna Zendel's taking me out back, whereas Tavrod's like, here's a sweet boom boom stick. Players already back in the game though.
Yeah, they're confident in their sideboard plans.
So we're going to see VSarius leading out on a monument, Unearthly leading out on a depleted banner. Looks like a little instigator action coming from Unearthly. I have to imagine we're going to see a similar followed suit from VSarius, although Annihilate could come down. I don't particularly like it.
No, you're not going to use Annihilate on an instigator unless it's got a weapon on it.
Yeah.
So, the instigator comes out. So, Annihilate on one side, vanquishes on the other. Tinker Overseer comes down. And a banner, Unearthly wisely swinging first, hiding those pauses, then deploying the banner, hold up, protect. Always about hiding that information.
Now, do you just Valkyrie Enforcer and try to get that protect out next turn?
Ooh, Unearthly opted to use Seek Power, get that out of hand. This 2/2 not worth protecting. And I think I can agree with that. It was more about just hiding the fact that he had protect. Yeah. This is a 2/2 instead of a 2/2 flyer, but your opponent has a flyer. So, now I guess this instigator will be able to block it at some point as Unearthly draws power for turn and just has vanquishes with
I was about to say, the two vanquishes just kind of sitting blankly in Unearthly's hand. So we'll see. And VSarius playing out a lot of flyers right now. This is a 4-turn clock in the air. And these two instigators, too.
We'll see the A space here, and I expect, an Emerald Monument to get played out to enable the other one. And, VSarius is on the low-to-the-ground beatdown plan that you alluded to could be really good in this matchup, and it's paying off here. All of these units are just flying under these vanquishes that are sitting dead in Unearthly's hand.
And we get to see an Annihilate being able to be held up for the next turn. I wonder what did Unearthly bring? No, Unearthly doesn't have finest hour.
Bear's favor. We'll finish off this.
Okay, that explains
this instigator.
That. However, putting him down to 10. Is this just lethal?
Not yet, but
Gemblade put him to so it's 11, and then
Gemblade is
5, 6. Yeah, all right.
Vanquish is not a fast spell, so VSarius will jam a Gemblade probably on the 2/2 flyer. Just spread out your threats and
wham bam.
This match
thank you,
2-1.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to VSarius, Unearthly. I think I'm just bad luck for Unearthly. I don't think I've ever commentated on a match that Unearthly has won. Like in actuality.
I don't know if he's ever won a match. Like I think we just put him in the the 3-1 bracket to start. It's all a conspiracy. Have we said too much? Are we getting pulled off air now?
Shh. I told you not to do it, man. I told you not to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, that is that match. VSarius moves on to 4-1. So very much alive for top 8. Going to be a little tough for Unearthly sitting at 3-2 to to get into the top 8 in this tournament, but an outside
Possible.
shot. Tiebreakers could be on his side.
It's possible. But Rhino, I hear we have something that we do on Sundays. What do we do on Sundays?
Yeah, the ETS this lovely open series happens every Saturday, but we do have some other events going on Sundays. Notably tomorrow there is again the last chance qualifier, but that doesn't happen every Sunday. Instead, the Eternal Tournament Series Team League has been going on for, I believe this is, I don't know, going on almost 2 months now. It's been running side by side with this latest season, where some of the greatest players in Eternal have teams, and they play against each other to duke it out to see which team reigns supreme. And tomorrow is the playoffs. We got a grand final and everything, the whole shebang going down tomorrow on Sunday. A whole lot of prizes and bragging rights on the line, as this is the first time we've run a team tournament. So it'll be pretty sweet to see which team comes out on top. So be sure to tune in and catch that action. It's really interesting stuff if you haven't checked it out before. We get in on the team comms as they play and discuss strategy and lines of play. There's a lot to learn, and also the matches themselves are really interesting. Of course, Eternal's a whole lot of fun to watch and play. So coverage starts tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and I believe the finals are on at 4 Eastern if everything goes according to schedule, and it's been running pretty smoothly, so I expect it to. So be sure to tune in, check it out. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, that's the whole plug. That's it. We're done.
God, that was a beautiful plug.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so with that being said, we've got one more round of Swiss action coming up, so be sure to stay tuned. Enjoy the VODs during this little break, and we'll be back with more Eternal action in just a few moments.
See you guys.